Hi, it is 12:31 a.m. and I have to get up early tomorrow to go do errands, but I just watched the History of Japan video for the 4,000th time and I have nothing to lose. So, I'm going to tell you guys about a watermelon story because it keeps me up at night. So, as some of you may know, I went to visit my friend in Florida. She goes to college there, and her girlfriend and I decided, hey, let's just up and fucking drive to Florida in one day. So we did, and that was fine. And then we did some cosplay shit, we made a video, and then we came back. About 2 hours into Georgia, we haven't been on the road very long. It's been like 5 hours. So we were like expecting anything weird to happen, like maybe in another 2 or 3 hours. But no. 2 hours into Georgia, we stop. Because I need some goddamn coffee. We are in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in Georgia. This is already going well, you can tell. We stopped by a place, it took us like 20 minutes just to find an exit that had a gas station. And there were two. There were two really shitty gas stations right next to each other. Not even across the street. They were literally right next to each other. And next to those two gas stations, there was a really sketchy motel. This motel had two floors. And outside this motel, there was a bus. No, there were two buses, actually. One of the buses did not have a roof. It straight up didn't have a roof. I don't know what happened. Did someone fucking mess up and go under an overpass? I don't know. This bus didn't have a roof. I don't have the answers. This bus didn't have a roof. There was another bus that looked like it was from the fucking 80s. This thing was ancient. It was green. It was like army green, and not just like the modern army green. No, this thing looked like it was old. And it's there. So we're like, huh, that's a thing. We pull up to the gas station. I go in. I want to get some coffee. I want coffee. I walk in. There's like, it's very small in there. I think the most variety of things they had in there were fucking cigarettes. That's it. I was like, where's the coffee? I find the coffee. I find the lack of coffee. There is a coffee pot. There's not even a little pot of cream or anything. It's just coffee. I think there was like 3 bags of sugar. Not bags, like packets of sugar. That was it. And there was no coffee in the coffee pot. It wasn't even on. It was just there. And I was like, well, this was a bust. So I go outside. I'm like, Emily, there's no fucking coffee. I'm going to the next gas station. And I was like, I'm just going to walk over there. And she's like, hey, we're lazy, so why don't I just drive you this 35 feet to the next gas station? So we did. I go in. It's almost the same situation. There's like no creamer. There's some sugar. And there's like maybe a quarter pot of coffee. And this isn't like cappuccino stuff. This is like the old school coffee pot, which I'm cool with. Anyway, it was really shitty coffee, and I got the coffee, and I was like, ah yes, this will sate me for another like 2 hours, and I'm gonna regret my choices, because this is real shit. So, I go out, I get back in the car, and I just see Emily staring over at the motel. And I'm like, okay. And she just goes, they've been throwing watermelons off the balcony for about 3 minutes now. And I'm just kind of like, what? So I look up, and I see this.
Watermelon they've dropped.
What the fuck? What is this? Keep in mind, the bus that's in front of us is in the foreground. They're not throwing it into the bus. That's just blocking our view, which makes it worse because we couldn't see what was happening when they fell. What happened? We were like, okay, they're probably just throwing them off the balcony and watching them splatter. I've drawn up a shitty map for you all, so this was what was happening. After about 4 watermelons, I was like, what is going on? We watched this for over 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes straight. There are 3 guys, okay? There are 3 guys up on the balcony, and they keep rotating in and bringing out more watermelons onto the balcony, dropping them, and the way they're dropping them, it looks like they're dropping them to someone. Why? We don't know. This is the second floor. The guy catching them would have had to be the fucking Hulk to not die immediately by death, by falling watermelon. So, we're watching this fucking conveyor belt of watermelons go over the side, and we're like, what is going on? I mean, look at this.
The fuck? What the fuck?
What's going on? And so we're sitting there, and there must have been at least 25 watermelon that we watched just go over the balcony. How did they get them into the room in the first place? If you're gonna bring watermelons to a place, why do you rent a second floor hotel room? Like, there were maybe 3 cars other than the buses at this hotel room. It's, by saying hotel room, I'm making this place sound too classy. It's this. Why would you rent a second floor motel room? There are clearly bottom floors. Why would you carry this many watermelons up into your room? How could you carry this many watermelons up into your room? Why do you have that many watermelons? So, like, there's just a billion fucking watermelons. There's so many watermelons, and we're just watching it, and it's this endless stream of watermelons plunging into oblivion, because there is no other place they could have gone. Okay, so we're about to leave, and this is a sketchy part of Georgia, so it's not like we can just go up and ask them, "Hi, why are you throwing watermelons off of your balcony into oblivion?" We drive by. We finally see what's going on, and by we see what's going on, we have less idea what's going on after we see what's going on. We fucking drive by, and they had taken they were stopped. They weren't done, because there were like 3 watermelons by these guys' feet as we were driving away. They were just pausing. We drive past the bus, so we can see there's a guy on the ground. We're like, okay, he must be catching the watermelons. But there are no watermelons in sight. Where did they go? You can't get rid of 25 watermelons that fast. And there was no place they could have put them. Like, the only possible place they could have put them was in this green bus. But we could see into the bus because it was parked with a back to us, and there were windows and a full-length glass door. So we would have been able to see watermelons in the bus. There was no place they could have gone. This was just upwards of 25 watermelons vanished. I don't know where they went. I don't know. No aspect of this makes sense. They were just throwing them off the balcony, and I guess this guy was catching them, and, like, I don't know, how did he catch them? Where did they go? There was no place for them. Where did they go? This keeps me up at night. There's no way you could possibly make sense of this. Like, I've stayed up at night, and anytime I try to legitimize what's happening, even if they're watermelon salesmen, 1, where's the thing you're carrying your watermelons in? Even if it is the bus, and somehow they managed to hide the watermelons in the bus so we couldn't see them, why are you driving a bus that is ancient with watermelons in it? So even that wouldn't make sense, but I would have accepted it. But it didn't happen, and I don't know where they went. So there's just 3 guys up above and 1 guy below, and they are throwing watermelons to each other. How did they get the watermelons in the room? How did they get the watermelons in the room? There were so many watermelons. There were so many watermelons. There were so many watermelons. And they were just dropping them over the side. I mean, look at this fucking video. Look at it. I don't understand. Why did they have that many? Why were they in the room? Why? If you had a truck or something, why didn't you just leave them in the truck? Who's gonna steal 50 billion watermelons? Emily has like a 5-minute video of this on Facebook, and nothing makes sense. So for the rest of the trip, we were just like baffled. This was real. We have video evidence. Where did they go? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Where did they come from? Where did they go? Cotton Eye Joe! I'm so confused. At the risk of saying a terrible, terrible pun, I would like to know where this went. I wanted to see the fruits of their labor. I legitimately feel like I've witnessed some sort of real-life Skyrim glitch. I don't understand! This is genuinely the most baffling thing I have ever seen in my entire goddamn life.